Itong next na panonoorin natin mga kapatid ay interview. Kaya dating Pangulong Cory Aquino, less than 2 months after ng Yellow Revolution kung saan ay napaalis nga ang dating Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos. Ito ay April 17, 1986 at nakita ko lang to sa internet. Ito yung maikling bahagi lang dun sa mahabang interview at panonoorin natin at kayo na ang bahalang mag-comment kung ano ang inyong masasabi. Alright, so wag na natin patagalin to. Total wala na rin naman tayong hinihintay na. Panoorin na natin to.
Let me just get a cushion in place and make sure everything is comfortable here.
Okay.
Wow, nilagyan na kutsyon.
Now, in the last few days, in fact, since late last week, there have been an increasing number of pro-Marcos, if you will, anti-Aquino demonstrations around town. First, what do you make of these demonstrations?
Well, I think definitely they are orchestrated, and I hear that they are being paid. Of course, I don't exactly know just what the amounts are.
They're orchestrated, they are paid. Hindi niya nga lang daw alam kung magkano, Pero ito nga tinatanong sa kanya, ito ay less than 2 months, after nang siya'y maupo, ay nagkakaroon siguro ng mga demonstrasyon, mga kapatid. At yun nga sinasabi niya, orchestrated, at paid.
But I would think it would be really worth their while because you talk in terms of sometimes a whole day, with people demonstrating out there. What I have told the police is that we will observe tolerance and but definitely I would like them to go after persons who are indeed either carrying guns or stones because we have to protect the interests of the citizenry against people who would inflict harm on them.
Do you see these people as a threat to your government?
No, I think it is just that of course, Mr. Marcos and his loyalists do want to return to this country. I have indicated also that it is the express wish of the Filipino people that Mr. Marcos not return to this country.
Oh, so ang hahiling ng sambayan ng Pilipino ay wag na daw makabalik si dating Pangulong Marcos, Yun ang sabi ni Madam
Of the Filipino people that Mr. Marcos not return to this country because it will again incite so many of these people against Mr. Marcos. Right now, those who are supporting me are not saying anything and they are just supporting my government and waiting for the time when I will be able to give jobs to the unemployed. And I guess Mr. Marcos realizes this, and since he got away with most of the country's money, it is so easy for him to be financing all of these so-called demonstrators.
So ang sabi ni dating Pangulong Marcos, pag-alis daw ni dating Pangulong Cory pala, mga kapatid, ay pag-alis daw ni dating Pangulong Marcos, dala-dala niya ang almost kaperahan ng bansang Pilipinas, kayang-kaya niya naman daw talaga mag-finance doon sa nangyayaring demonstrasyon laban sa kanya, mga kapatid. So ang pinapalabas dito ng dating Pangulong Cory, mga kapatid, na ang lahat daw ng nangyayaring kaguluhan doon ay orchestrated o utos o ang nagpapagalaw doon ay si Marcos gamit yung perang tinangay niya, tinangay niya, sabing ganon ni dating Pangulong Cory. Well, inaano ko lang, ini-emphasize ko lang, mga kapatid.
Rather strange for you to be on this end of it. After all, you were the one that were out in the streets while there was a president here in Malacanang, and now there are people out in the streets yelling, not many to be sure, but yet they're out there in using similar techniques, if you will.
Oh yes, very similar, because I understand that before where we used yellow ribbons, I think they use red ribbons now, and well, it is all a very different situation, and perhaps the most glaring or the most beautiful example for me anyway is when I first visited Camp Aguinaldo. You must remember that I used to visit Camp Aguinaldo before when my husband was a political prisoner. And during those times, I would have to go there, sit quietly by, wait till my turn to see the defense minister would come about. And then all of a sudden, here I am being met by cheering soldiers and being escorted all the way, plus the Minister of Defense and the Chief of Staff waiting for me. So this is really a 180-degree turn that I have seen, and I am very grateful to the military who did indeed support us and who were also for a peaceful and bloodless revolution.
It's nearly the 2-month point now that you've been in office. What would you say have been the successes, in your view, in this early period, and what have been the disappointments?
First of all, as I promised that I would release all political prisoners, then so far I think there has been a total of 500 plus political prisoners who have been released and who have been given amnesty.
Yun nga napalaya, no? Pati yung pangalan nun, pa-comment na nga lang, yung pinaka-leader, no? Napalaya niya rin.
Then I also lifted the suspension of the writ of habeas corpus, and perhaps what would be more noticeable to you people is that there is the restoration of press freedom, and definitely at no time during Marcos's years of dictatorship have you ever had people being so free to talk either for or against the government or for or against the previous regime. So these would be
so sinasabi niya rito nung panahon daw ni dating Pangulong Marcos talagang wala ka makikitang taong nagsasalita ng laban sa kanya, no? Laban kay Pangulong Marcos dahil nga diktador, sabi niya gano'n diktador. Pero ibinalik niya yung tinatawag na press freedom, mga kapatid, kung saan ay may kalayaan na ang bawat isa na magsalita ng kanilang saloobin, no? Ito may laban o hindi sa nakaupo, mga kapatid. Pero nung panahon daw ni dating Pangulong Marcos, walang gano'n, no? Hindi makapagsalita ang mga tao kung ano yung kanilang nararamdaman, mga kapatid.
The most outstanding accomplishments during this, I think it's 50 days now that I have been in office. Disappointments, well, the fact that we are hoping to start on our economic recovery program, but because of no funds available, this is what is really delaying things. And much as I would like to give jobs to the unemployed, that just isn't possible, and perhaps this is one of the very frustrating and very disappointing things.
Alright mga kapatid, yan napanood nyo yung maikli na interview. Actually merong merong long version, no? Pero saka na natin siguro panoorin, no? At ano ang masasabi ninyo dito sa mga sinabi ng dating Pangulong Corazon Aquino, no? Yung ibang mga comment, bahala na kayo dyan. Comment down below mga kapatid at babasahin natin yan sa susunod nating video. Pero bago tayo magtapos mga kapatid, ay gusto ko lamang pasalamatan ang The Stuffs. Yan, kung nakikita nyo sa itaas mga kapatid, ang videong to ay hatid nila. At syempre, kung bago ka pa lamang dito sa ating channel, ay wag mong kakalimutan na mag-subscribe. Click mo na rin ang notification bell para ma-update ka whenever na maglalabas tayo ng ganitong klaseng reaction video. Bago tayo magtapos mga kapatid, ay konting shout out muna at the same time ay babasahin natin yung inyong mga naging comment dito sa last video na na-upload natin, yung pag-uusap ni Pangulong BBM at ni Juan Ponce Enrile, mga kapatid, dating Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile. Shoutout kay Alejandro Pamintuan. Thank you for this reaction video, Shobaldi. This is truly an eye-opener for all Filipinos who have deceived in a distorted history. Yan ang sabi ni Alejandro Pamintuan. Sabi naman ni GSJ, Shobal, CLSU, Central Luzon State University is the best agricultural university in Asia during Marcos regime. Many foreigners from Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam. In fact, I met some of them in their countries. Since then their agriculture sector of their countries overtook the Philippines after 1986. Oh. Shoutout din kay Jean Arki, yan. Saan pa ba tayo makikinig? Siyempre dun sa Jurassic. Jurassic. Idol Jamaldi, more power and stay healthy. Salamat sa mga videos na ganito na kinaaadikan ko panoorin. Maraming salamat. At kay Elvira Ibanez, first time I've seen this and coming from Enrile, very enlightening. Thank you for showing this, Shobaldi. Salamat din po Elvira Ibanez. At kay Baby Jane Tolentino, abangers Lodi sa episode 2. Mabuhay po kayo. Yan. Maraming salamat mga kapatid sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta at sana ay nagugustuhan ninyo itong mga ginagawa nating reaction video. Hanggang sa muli, ako nga po pala si Shobaldi. Peace out.